Cobra Kai Season 4 may have ended in bitter terms to some of our favorite characters, but there's still hope for a comeback. And speaking of a comeback, a Karate Kid alum is rumored to make a return in the next season. For today's episode, we'll be discussing why Chozen is the perfect mentor for Tory in Season 5, as well as other news concerning the series. So keep on watching if you don't want to miss out. Will Chozen, Danny LaRusso's former rival, make a great mentor for Tory? Back in Season 3, we saw Danny take a life-changing trip to Okinawa to visit Mr. Miyagi's grave, where he happened to bump into one of his former rivals, Chozen Taguchi. Chozen was the main antagonist in the Karate Kid Part 2 and has made more than a few appearances in the last few seasons. Now the head of the Miyagi-Do Karate in Okinawa, we're pretty sure having him on Danny's side will be instrumental in defeating Terry Silver's team in the next season. Fans are also elated that Tori Nichols seems to have a change of heart and realized the ruthlessness of Terry's leadership, so there's a high chance she'll walk away from Johnny Kreese's dojo sooner rather than later. She may have won the All Valley tournament, but she didn't win it purely of her own skills, since she found out later that Terry Silver paid off the referee in the tournament, robbing her of the validation she needed. Assuming she already left the dojo, it's a bit hard to picture Tori training under Danny LaRusso since they clash in philosophies, plus the fact that her complicated history with Danny's daughter, Sam, will make it all the more difficult. But you know who could be a great mentor to Tori? Chozen Taguchi. With Chozen working alongside Danny, Tori has another option for a mentor, and they have more in common compared to her other mentors. Chozen knows what it's like to walk a thorny path fueled by anger and resentment. Plus, his fighting style is also more aggressive compared to Danny's. With so much common ground, we're sure Tori would quickly form a bond under Chozen's tutelage. And who knows, he may even encourage her to make a fresh start. What happened to Chozen in The Karate Kid 2? For those of you who haven't watched the original film series, Chozen was the top student at Sato's dojo in Okinawa who harbored ill feelings towards Mr. Miyagi, something he inherited from his uncle, and called him a coward. He was not only a rival but also a bully to Danny back when they were younger, where he constantly tormented and harassed him. Probably one of his lowest points for him in the movie is when, in an act of blind rage and frustration, he crashes an Oban festival where he held Kamiko at knife point and challenges Danny into a fight to the death. Formidable as an opponent as he is, Danny proves to be the better fighter and wins the match. Ashamed at his defeat, he attempted to commit suicide but was saved at the last minute by his uncle Sato, who encouraged him to change for the better. Before Sato's death, Chozen also learned the pressure points technique, which enables him to numb his opponent's limbs while also entrusting all of Miyagi's artifacts to him. Should Chozen serve as Tori's mentor in the next season, her redemption arc may not be as difficult and even imbue her with several life lessons she could carry for years to come. Having a new master-apprentice relationship in the show is a welcome addition to the show, which will be greatly enjoyed by fans of the show and the film series alike. Next, Mr. Miyagi's teachings are still being used in Cobra Kai. The motivational speaker, Ty Howard, once said, "A favorite teacher becomes a permanent inspiration and admiration in a student's heart for a lifetime." Decades after his death, even Mr. Miyagi's teachings are still being applied to the show today, and even his former students are not quite done learning some of his lessons, which is evidently seen in the latest season. Despite their combined effort, Johnny Lawrence and Danny LaRusso's tandem wasn't enough for them to win the All Valley tournament, although we know that Terry Silver paying off a referee also played an important part in the results. Mr. Miyagi once said that there are no bad students, only bad teachers, a lesson which was also reused this season. The senseis put their respective dojos on the line in the All Valley tournament, with the losing dojo closing their doors forever to give way to the winner. With such a heavy burden to bear, the students from both rivaling teams are put under great pressure. At the end of Season 3, we thought that Johnny and Danny's team up was enough to take their next students to the next level and subdue their rival team. However, it all fell short because of the two teachers' constant bickering and argument. On the other hand, the opposing team between Terry Silver and John Kreese went pretty smoothly on the first part, only to turn sour at the last minute, with John Kreese being framed for a crime he didn't do. Now headed to prison to serve time, Cobra Kai is now fully under the rule of Terry Silver. With both teams struggling with their respective senseis, it's no wonder most of the kids are in disarray, and some even have budding doubts about their masters. Even though they exerted all their efforts, along with Danny and Johnny's encouragement and teachings, the Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang students still tasted a bitter loss, which made some of them think that maybe an abrasive and ruthless style of karate is the better fighting style. Sam and Miguel are already taking interest in this, but were were discouraged by both mentors. In the end, Sam is left confused about what fighting style she will use in the finals, and Miguel is disheartened to return to his match after suffering an injury. On the other side, the Cobra Kai students Robbie and Tory also met disappointment in their respective teachers. As pointed out by Terry Silver, John Kreese only saw Robbie as a replacement for Johnny and never as his own person, whereas Tory was robbed of the validation she most wanted when she discovered Terry bribed the referee at the tournament, therefore breaking her trust. The students may have a lot of issues they're dealing with, but there's no denying the fact that a lot of these also stem from the respective masters' problems and insecurities. To settle all this drama once and for all, it looks like Danny and Johnny, and even John Kreese, need to go back to the basics and look back at the things that led to how they are today. Could John Kreese team up with Danny LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence next season? Following Terry Silver's betrayal of John Kreese that left the latter serving time behind bars, Terry has now officially taken over Cobra Kai, but little does he know that help is on the way for the Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang Dojo with the arrival of Chozen. Johnny is also currently indisposed in Mexico to find Miguel, so it's only up to Chozen and Danny to save Mr. Miyagi's legacy. Could Kreese eventually side with the good guys this time around? We are all aware of John Kreese's ruthless nature, but Terry Silver is beyond that level and will stop at nothing to get what he wants. But if there's anything we know John can't stand, it's betrayal and how his former partner did him dirty. We're sure he'll be coming back in the next season to exact his revenge, and even take the most unlikely option, partnering with Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do. Throughout season 4, the creators have laid the groundwork for what looks like Kreese's redemption arc. We're seeing a little bit more of his morality come to the surface at some scenes, such as when he intervened and threatened Tory's landlord to stop harassing her, as well as when he stopped Terry from beating Johnny into a coma. The most obvious of his actions is when he disagreed with Terry, who's ushering Tory to land a disqualifying hit to the eye. Tory was obviously reluctant to do so, but John Kreese only told her to do what's right. Terry may have gotten rid of John, but little does he know that he'll meet his match in the form of Chozen. As both former rivals of Danny LaRusso, they're formidable in their own ways, yet they haven't had the chance to meet yet, so having Chozen on Danny's side is an advantage on his part. Plus, there's also the fact that Chozen knows the ancient secrets Mr. Miyagi held dear, which he never shared with Daniel. If this is another form of fighting style that could overpower Terry's, then we're pretty sure the matchup between their students will prove to be interesting next season. Chozen is also an offensive fighter, so he could go on par with Terry, who goes by strike first principle, so we're sure we could see them go toe-to-toe against each other in the future. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we'll be wrapping up today's video about why Chozen is the perfect mentor for Tory in Cobra Kai Season 5. What do you think will happen next season? Do you think the team could bounce back from this defeat? Let us know in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.